Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Off the Rails podcast. I'm your host, Gregory, and today with me, once again, I have my co-host, Rem.
Hello.
My co-host, Ben.
Hey!
And for the first time ever, my good Brazilian friend, Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, howdy, hey.
He's not the actual Samuel Jackson guy, but he is potentially better because he is Brazilian.
Yep.
Okay, so let's just go off and say that if Ben does not put his phone away, I'm gonna shatter his both of his glasses screens and his actual screen at the same time.
That's hot.
Don't worry, I'll do it for you.
Samuel is my a bodyguard, Ben. So if you mess around on this podcast, he will take care of you.
Ooh.
Not in the way that you like, though. He's also taken, so
I'm just kidding.
Dang.
I'm
I mean, he does have, we are Brazilian, so we do have the Brazilian charm, Ben. So I would be really careful with your heart in this episode.
My head, my heart are torturing me.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? I don't think we have to worry about Ben's brain at least.
It's already gone down the drain.
It's already gone. Yeah.
It's already been taken care of.
So, Samuel, welcome to the podcast. Is there any subject that you feel like you have a strong opinion on, or something that you would like to talk about? I know this is a bit like on the spot, but anything, we cannot talk about it.
Well, I don't know if you guys actually talked about it. We actually did talk about this when we first met up, about hot takes that we have.
Oh, yeah. Why don't we go around at the table, maybe do like this quick little bit, and we're all gonna have to give hot takes.
Yeah.
And the hottest, craziest take, like the one that gets the most reactions, we talk about. That's actually a good idea.
Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds good.
Who would like to start? Actually, Ben, please do the honors.
Of course, Ben.
Mr. Fitness is not healthy guy. Go ahead.
Boiling water is very hot when you dump it on yourself.
I mean, it is a take, and technically it is hot, so,
Ram.
Oh, okay. My hot take, I don't think we've discussed this yet. I don't believe in emotions as separate things with clear-cut lines between them. I think there is only emotion as a spectrum, and any labels we throw on specific parts of that spectrum are more or less arbitrary.
Explain what you mean.
I mean, I don't think they're, at least not with current scientific understanding of the human brain, I don't think we can clearly define, this is happiness and this is what makes it different from sadness. It's more of just the labels we give to things, the social constructs, so to speak, how we view them. And, what makes something an emotion anyway. How come music isn't an emotion? Or
I think music is emotion.
Well,
Ben gives the hottest takes when other people are fucking talking.
Exactly.
Dude says pouring hot water on yourself is a hot take. Then as Rem is talking, he's like, I think music is an emotion. Like,
music is an emote. That is definitely a take.
No, but I don't think that's any less valid. I don't think saying music is an emotion is any less valid than saying happiness or sadness is an emotion.
But would you say that in like an emotion would be something that a human experiences in terms of like
emotion is what is. I don't believe in emotions as separate, clearly defined things. I don't.
It's more like a fluid thing. Kind
Yeah,
of.
I mean, to an extent.
Yeah.
To an extent,
so
you
kind
can
of like
say.
gender fluid.
To an extent, you can say like, I'm feeling anger, and other people won't interpret that as, okay, this person's happy. But to an extent, I don't think we can really clearly define the differences between,
kind of like
happiness, nostalgia, melancholy, sadness, joy, amusement. Like, what makes each of those separate things, and the borders kind of fade the more specific you try to be. So I don't think.
So So you're saying that in terms of like diagnosing one from the other, it's more like a personal bias in a way in terms
Yes.
of the difference. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like what
So you
I
believe that
describe as
emotions are a thing, just
I
that
believe that
it's-
emotion is a thing. I don't believe in emotions as separate and clearly defined things. For instance, I might describe how I'm feeling one way, and you might feel the same thing and describe it a different way, or you might use the same label that I'm using to describe how I'm feeling, but what you're feeling is different.
That's an interesting take. I honestly don't know because like when you were saying about like emotion itself being a spectrum, like that made sense because like like you could be really happy or you could be like less happy and you could just say, oh, I'm happy. But in terms of like being up to interpretation, like depending on the kind of person, I'm not really sure about that specifically. Um, yeah, but I mean, it could kind of be up to interpretation. Honestly, I'm not sure, but really, I think it's really hard to like say like what the other person is feeling because you're not actually.
Oh, of course,
feeling
and
it
that's
yourself.
kind of the point too. Is
So if you're like part of the human, like emotion is a thing, but everyone experiences certain things differently. So there's no.
Yeah,
It's not that necessarily there's no a label. It's that there's no way to label things exactly with billions of people experiencing different things in different ways.
yeah, what I'm saying is what one person describes as happiness or love or sadness or melancholy, it may not be. They may not even be feeling the same thing as when another person describes what they're feeling
Right.
with that label, and someone else might be feeling the same thing as them but use a different label to describe it.
Kind of like how the physical symptoms, like, if you will, of excitement and nervousness are pretty much like the exact same.
How do you mean?
Because apparently, like the difference between like you being nervous about something or excited about something, like like the physical symptoms, like sweaty palms, increased heart rate, like it's. I think I either read it or I watched a couple of videos multiple times talking about like the difference between the two is the human take on whatever is going on.
Oh yeah, that's exactly the sort of point I'm trying to get at. Even the same physiological processes we might perceive in a different way and therefore interpret it differently. Yeah,
Differently.
even if it's the same
Interesting.
physiological things going on in two different people's minds and bodies, they might perceive it different ways or describe it different ways. And even then, there will be subtle differences too. It's not like they're feeling exactly the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now that you explained it, I would be inclined to agree.
Yeah, I'd have to get a little bit more thought into that, but I think what you're saying does make a little bit of sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Your hot takes, yeah.
All right, my hot take. So I've actually discovered recently that my hot takes aren't really hot takes.
Yeah,
They're
Sam,
more.
we discovered that last week when I first met you and you were talking about hot takes, and your hot takes were like, I like the color red.
I actually don't. I like the color blue.
I like the rainbow.
But no, one of my what? Wait, what did he say?
Feeling
We're
blue.
talking about colors, and this dude's like, I like the rainbow. That's like 7 colors. Dude.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's only 3 to Ben.
Amazing addition as always.
Yeah.
It's only 3 to Ben.
Yeah, the rainbow's only 3 colors to Ben.
Oh, yeah,
wait,
it is.
wait,
It
really?
is. It is.
Oh wait, you're colorblind?
I am.
Oh dang!
Wait.
I didn't know that.
Wait, so does that mean that you see like two colors and like different lines of the
No,
rainbow?
I can make so many different shades and brightnesses.
Yeah,
So you cannot see certain colors.
Yes.
yeah.
So what do you see instead? Black
So
and white
no,
lines?
I see color, but I see wrong color.
Yeah. So like to him it's normal, but to us it'd be like
that wall looks like a green.
well, yeah. Well, I mean it is green, but like
orange or green.
I like how.
But it's like,
this wall
to
looks orange
define
or green.
to define his color blindness, he points at a color that we all agree on.
No. But let me hear me out though. It's also
Dude
orange
gets
to
a
me.
knife, opens his own veins, like I see red.
Like, no. That also looks orange to me too, though.
Gregory
I
veins
can
are
kind
blue.
of see that.
The blood in the veins. It is.
Yeah, but like, what color is your jacket right now? What do you see as the color of your jacket?
Blue.
Okay. So, because like I
I'm
know,
really hoping it's colorblind for
This
us.
looks
yeah,
white.
Okay.
I know that there are like
What
different
colors
levels.
do you see in the rainbow band?
I get mixed up with purple, pink, and blue in certain shades.
Mhm.
And I get mixed up with brown, green, and red. And sometimes red get mixed up with orange. But I can only see yellow.
But you still see multiple colors. It's not just 3.
No, I
It's
get
not
mixed-
like actual like 100% color blindness, because like that would be just seeing everything like black and white.
Yeah.
But
That'd be crazy.
yeah, can humans even have color?
That is a
blindness,
certain
I think?
type of color blindness.
It is?
It's more
Yeah,
rare.
it is.
It's a lot more rare than like red-green color blindness or
Yeah, because my cousin's kind of colorblind, and she only sees in like or like she can't tell the difference between red and green. I actually only discovered that like recently, and I think like we were just looking at stuff, and she just said, "Oh, I can't tell these different colors,"
Yeah.
and I don't know, it was crazy.
I got really annoyed at my teacher once. He gave me a black and white map.
Mm.
And I'm like, bro, how am I supposed to identify what's on this map? It's all black and white.
Yeah. Well, that's less of a color blindness problem. That's more
Yeah.
like teachers just printing
No.
stuff.
Because
Printing.
it's color coordinated.
Yeah.
It's color coordinated. What's the colors?
Yeah, it
Black
makes
and white.
No, there's color identity like red, orange, green. And I'm like,
Thank you.
all right.
Okay, wait. So
Anyways,
I'm still a bit confused. Like, you only see 3 colors in the rainbow. So, because
red, orange, green, and blue, shiny, yellow, purple, too.
I'm just gonna ignore that. So, how many colors does a rainbow have?
I don't know. How many?
Like, okay.
I know that there are like
Red,
7.
orange, green, and
let's-
blue, shiny, yellow, purple, 2, 6.
No,
let's
no,
say-
it's
red, orange,
actually
green, blue,
different. I think it's
Let's
red.
say 7. Okay,
Yeah.
Let's say for the fuck of it. Let's say 7.
the pride flag only
You-
has
you-
6 colors.
You only see.
Yeah, it's 6 colors in the
Oh,
rainbow.
shit. You only see 3 colors.
Yeah.
So what are the other 4 to you?
There's not 7, there's 6.
It's just no. It's just I think like for people who are colorblind, correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
but it's like it more or less like blends together.
Yeah.
You know,
It does.
so
that
like
looks
blends
orange
together
or
with colors that are very similar to each other. Like red and orange just blend together to him, and they just seem like the same
So
color.
he sees like a thicker line.
Yeah,
of one
yeah. So
color.
like instead of red, orange, yellow, green, blue,
It's red.
yeah,
orange.
there's like no. It's like red and orange, like they're just mixed together.
Oh, okay. Okay.
E-
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
either that or like one is dark, just darker, and the other is like just lighter. But he sees that as if they were like the same color.
Okay.
Just like one is maybe a bit darker, one is maybe a bit lighter.
That makes more sense than Rem just saying he sees 3 colors. Okay, so I guess it's my turn to do a hot
Wait,
take.
I
No,
didn't, I
Henry
didn't even
still
say
says
my
hot take from him.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
because
you
Rem
said that my hot take was
because-
saying that I like red, which was not even
Oh, yeah,
correct.
you said that your hot take's not really that hot. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
They're
so
like mild.
yeah, so my spiciest take that I have
It's gonna be something like.
is that I already told you guys this one is that I prefer milk first and then cereal.
That is the coldest take. Literally the coldest take.
No, but because
Wait, you put the milk first and then the cereal?
yes.
You're a fucking American terrorist then.
No,
Why do you do that?
because
Hey, I just-
it makes the cereal crunchier.
No.
I just
you
pour the
eat
milk.
it for a crunch.
and-
If you put
It
the
doesn't
milk on,
make it crunchier.
I
if
just
you
pour
put the
the
milk
milk
on
and drink it.
first, you start the sogifying process quicker.
That's the reason why you put milk in the cereal. Like, do you drink the milk and then eat the cereal after?
No, you put the milk, then you put the cereal, then you eat the cereal, and then you drink the milk. Easy. It's not that hard, guys.
I just pour the milk and forget about the cereal.
I just drink it, yeah.
We're talking about cereal, not drinking just straight up milk. I guess the only people that can really talk is me and Sam.
Yeah.
So Sam, so you're saying that way it makes the cereal crunchier.
Yes.
Wouldn't it make more sense to say that it leaves the cereal to be crunchy as it naturally is without it getting soggy by pouring milk on top of
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. Like that.
Interesting. So think
Now we're all
I still think you're a
terrorists.
fucking terrorist, but
You have to try it. You have to try it to see.
I'm just gonna taste the freaking dry, crunchy cereal and then drink the milk. Like I might as well get a cup of
But
milk
when you
and
eat
get
your-
a bowl of cereal.
When
and
you
then just-
eat cereal, you're still gonna like get a little bit of milk, so it's not like completely like dry.
so you like a little bit of moisture, but not too much.
Not too much,
The
yeah.
moist, the
Yeah.
moist, yeah.
Just enough so that it's not so that it's not like completely dry. But like even then, you still do eat dry cereal sometimes. Like sometimes I just put my hand in like the box of cereal and just eat some
I mean,
cereal.
because I don't do that. I guess if you do that, that makes more sense. But yeah, thank you for your hottest take.
Yeah, that is my hottest
I hope
take.
you
by
don't
the
get
way.
canceled for.
Oh, I will. I'm fully expecting
Um,
to like be canceled for this.
Sam gave us last week like 10 of his quote unquote hot takes. I gave one of my hot takes, and he looked, and it felt like I just like showed him like a new world. So like for example, like one of my hot takes would be that
Atlantis is real.
yeah, and I'm gonna drown you just like it did. Like, I'm trying to think of a hot take that I wouldn't get
The road to El Dorado exists.
completely. Ben, do you realize
Gregory.
that it is not your turn yet?
Shut up, Ben.
Thank you, Samuel.
Okay. Where's the cat go? Okay.
Hot take. I guess I would say that.
Oh, you're supposed to catch it.
I don't think I have any hot takes that I can think of right now that I haven't said yet. Like,
That you haven't already shared on the podcast?
yeah, hot take.
I can think of one.
Go ahead, Remy.
You're comfortable with me sharing it?
Absolutely, go ahead.
Your world destroying button?
Oh yeah, sure. Okay, that is. So I actually slightly went back on it, right? So a while back, I talked to my co-host Remy, and I told him that if an alien civilization offered me a button that would end humanity for good, but it would be like a quick, like no one would even notice that they're dead. It would just be like a blink of an eye thing. No
Thanos.
Nope. Yeah. Well, Thanos, you can kind of still like you can see yourself like turning into nothing. So that would be so that terror. Mine would be like blink of an eye, you're gone.
Yeah, like one moment you're there, and then the next second, like you're gone.
Yeah, exactly.
How much money is involved?
There's no money, Ben. The world is over.
The world just
How
died.
much money can I get when no one is even accepting money?
What worse does money does not have value if there aren't people
if
around
humans
to
are
give it
all
value.
dead, you're gonna have a bunch of useless pieces of paper. Ben.
Yeah, I'll use international currency and transfer it to alien
To
currency.
whom? No one's gonna do anything.
I'll transfer-
What would be the exchange rate on that?
You're
Do you
gonna-
notice?
No one's gonna be alive to accept it.
No, I'll change it to an alien currency and I'll go make deals with the aliens.
You don't-
I'll be
you don't-
alien.
Alien
Ben.
currency from human currency. You're gonna get punched in the face and left for dead for even considering thinking that an ancient alien civilization would.
How do you know they're
accept-
ancient? Are you assuming the aliens' economy?
In a scenario that I'm creating, Ben, yes, yes. Are you assuming that the scenario that you created, that the aliens are like this? Yes, Ben, I created it. Fucking hell. This woke movement is really gone off the rails. Huh? Are you saying that in the book that you created that this character skin is red? Yes, yes, idiot. Yes, his skin is red. Yes, I am creating the book. Like these people, like I was on the woke movement trail until I decided to just cancel just anyone for doing anything, right? So like,
Oh yeah.
there's gonna be a point where they're gonna want to cancel God for creating people with different colors and calling him racist because of that. Like, oh, you created people with different colors. Why not just create one?
I feel like that could be something
What?
that some
What?
people would do. It
Yeah.
sounds crazy.
It is crazy, but people
And it
do
is.
worse. So I thought I would just do it, like like of course, like I went back on it because I was
Like you would press the button to kill everyone instantaneously.
Yeah.
Why?
no pain to end human suffering, because the way that we're going now, if the scientists are right and the world's gonna slowly burn into a
Stop turning.
blaze, and everyone's gonna continue to die of hunger and get even worse across the world, and it's gonna be too late because apparently the richest countries are gonna be affected the like compared to everyone else, they're going to be impacted the least. So the ones that are the countries that are going to fall first or last are going to be the richest, like highest altitude countries, right?
Yeah.
So I was thinking in terms of like, because me and Rem, we disagree, like, because I'm pro-choice and Rem is pro-life, right?
Yeah.
And one of the main reasons that I saw that we disagreed was that Rem values the potential for quality of life.
Yeah.
I assign higher moral value to flourishing, to maximization of flourishing. Gregory assigns higher moral value to the minimization of suffering. Yeah.
Interesting.
So I thought about it as like, there's the fact that like, would I trust an alien civilization for me to click the button and everyone just, doesn't just turn into like a blaze and die slowly and painfully. But like in a scenario that if I'm writing a book that I know the outcome is going to be a certain way, and I put myself in the book and there's the button, more likely than not, I would gladly press the button. And yeah, I think that it's like, once again, like I would only do it in a book scenario where I know the outcome would be this for certain.
I press the button if I got a Reese. Reese's peanut butter cup.
Anyway, so if I knew there was no suffering, nothing, it would just be instantly everyone just gone. Then in a book scenario where I control the outcome, I would do it. But I thought about in a real life scenario, if that actually happened, I most likely wouldn't, because I would have to trust that alien race that the button actually does what they're telling it to do.
Yeah.
So if there's a possibility that it won't do what they're saying it will do, it will actually be harmful to everyone and really painful, then I most likely wouldn't do it. But
yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, I personally, I would disagree with you on that. I would definitely not press that button, just because, like, again, like what Remy said, like you vouch for maximization of
Flourishing,
and you're going for minimization of suffering. Yeah, so like that's really basically the main reason that I would not press a button, just for maximization of flourishing.
But hear me out. They have a gun.
Okay, don't
like they're threatening you to press the button.
Yes.
Then why don't they just press the button if they want to kill humanity?
Why? The world is your oyster, and you're saying the only. Okay, so
they threaten you with a cosmic brownie and a gun.
It's not that you want to click the button or not. It's if they're threatening you, they bring you over to their ship to click a button that they can click it themselves, and the only thing that they're threatening with is a gun.
Yeah. And a Reese and a cosmic brownie.
Okay, so they're threatening you with a gun, a Reese's,
and a fucking food that you can buy on Earth.
Yes.
And humans that you're about to kill make.
My gosh.
I really like to see a movie where Ben can like dictate everything. It would be the biggest fucking shit show. It would be like Scary Movie on steroids. It would be the most like, you would go in there and by the time it's over you're drooling and like your brain's melted through your ears like a fucking mummy.
I can see that happening.
Because it is gonna happen. It is gonna happen. Like,
I'm sorry, but come on, man.
You said that. Okay, let's say that Rem is the last person that probably would. Let's say that Rem is the last person who would click that button. You think what's stopping? Okay, so do you think what would make him click that button is being threatened with a gun to his head, where alien civilization can just click the button anyway? But let's just say that for some reason,
a human has to press it.
Okay, a human has to press it. So why would he click a button to kill all of humanity?
If he's part of humanity, he would just kill himself anyway.
Yeah, but it's either you die or everyone dies.
So you die. Take the bullet.
If Rem is the
Or
kind of person
laser,
that
or whatever.
values the flourishing of life, why would he save himself?
It's like that railway question. Like,
no, it's not.
The trolley problem.
Rem, what would you do?
Why would I kill myself?
What?
Yeah. Like
why would I press a button to kill myself?
Yeah, it makes no logical sense.
Because
Ben, you're saying either you die or everyone dies, including you. You're dying either way.
Yeah. So do you want to make everyone suffer, or do you want you to suffer?
But you
including
with
you.
Them because
but you
are
just said you wanted them to suffer the least. But
This is a no-brainer, Ben. It would kind of make slightly more sense if either you suffer or everyone else suffers. But even then,
Okay, fine.
Even
orphanage die. You press the button. Orphanage dies.
How do we go from any humanity to killing an orphanage? What the fuck?
Or your girlfriend dies.
Ben.
Your girlfriend or an orphanage.
Oh,
Well,
no.
I don't have a girlfriend, so easy.
Okay, that one is
Okay,
that one.
That is the Ben. I say this with like the most outermost respect that I can for you on this sentence. That is the most logical thing, probably the only logical hot take that you have given us this whole episode.
Yeah. Would you kill yourself or kill your significant other?
I would myself or my significant other.
Yeah.
Well, to answer Ben's question, for me to even like someone to consider them my partner, I would have to be like in love with them, right? And I believe I'm the kind of person that like has a high standard compared to people that I know that have like the majority of people that I know.
It's a high standard compared to people with low standards.
But I mean, to me, it's so high standards because it's like it's someone that can match my lifestyle.
Yeah.
So to me, that's high standards. So if I were in a love like unconditionally, and I would really have to be like in love with that person. So I would save my significant other and not the orphanage.
You kill your
Wait.
significant other?
No,
You-
I would save my significant other and
Why
not
would
the
you
orphanage.
And kill the orphanage?
Wow.
Wait.
Am I
No.
doing the killing?
Yes. You
Yes.
are. You're pressing the button to either kill an orphanage or your significant other.
Like
the
you
red pool-
like you press the
blue
left
pool.
button, your significant other dies of like a heart attack or something.
Oh,
and if you
I'm
press the
pressing
right
button.
Yeah, and if you press the right button, an orphanage just explodes. But I thought
the
you were-
orphanage.
Jeez.
Oh
Jesus
my
Christ,
God.
Gregory.
Jeez.
No.
Like I thought
So,
like
so
if
are you saying on tape that you would kill your girlfriend over your orphanage? Listen,
no, I thought it was I thought it was a different question. I thought it was like between myself and my significant
How about
other.
your significant other or an orphanage? Because listen, as crazy as this may sound, one of the humans like human mind's greatest quote unquote flaws is the selfishness. Like humans more likely than not are gonna choose their own priorities over anyone else's.
That is true.
Because like I don't like 'cause it can seem dark and harsh, but in a way it's like I don't know those people, so emotionally I'm gonna be hurt way more in many ways if I lose someone that I love rather than lose people that I don't know.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that
but how can you ethically justify that?
Yeah, that
you just
isn't-
killed,
I have an
you just
answer
killed
to this.
100
I have an answer
children.
to this.
Or
I
I just
run away.
killed or I just killed someone
Can't.
that I really care about.
I run away.
you can't run away from this scenario.
Also,
Yeah,
I run away. I get
also,
shot.
You,
Boom.
you cannot logically explain either because, like, technically speaking, the orphanage could be worse in some people's views to like kill instead of if you're significant other. But it's like you're either killing the person that you, well, in my opinion, would be one of the people that I love the most, if not the person that I love the most aside from myself, or people that I don't know. So like in a way, I'm killing way more people, yes, and that's bad in it itself. But in another way, I'm killing the person that I love the most, and just by clicking a button. So click a button.
What
Yeah,
your
so
aim is
from
to
a-
win.
So from a selfish emotional standpoint, that makes sense, but how could you ethically justify that?
Oh, I wouldn't like. There's no way to. It's literally the main drive is like you said, is the selfish
Yeah.
act of just being human. I guess.
Like, yeah, because like logically, the best course of action is to kill your significant other because
Right.
it's the needs of the many against the needs of the few.
Absolutely.
But like emotionally, it would just be gut wrenching just to like kill your significant
No,
other
obviously.
and be responsible for their death. Like have
You
that on
would
your
be
conscience.
fucked mentally.
Also,
You
wouldn't
would be.
it would be you would be fucked mentally either way.
No, well,
Either way, yes.
Talk to
Either
your go and tell your significant other, I killed an orphanage to save you.
Well, you wouldn't. Why would you tell them that? Because then you're gonna put guilt on them, saying that like they may feel they may feel like they're the reason why everyone dies.
That
You
is
keep
true.
a secret,
Yeah.
obviously.
Oh, it was still fuck emotionally with you.
To me, it would definitely it wouldn't like I would not like be completely fine killing an orphanage, but like I would like I think it would be way more hurt if I killed someone that I literally already have the connection with.
That does make sense.
Ben, look what you fucking started.
Yeah, thank you for asking the question, bro.
Yeah.
No.
But anyways,
Now, what would you do, Samuel?
me?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, I don't know, man.
Clearly, seems like we know what Ben and Rem
I would run away and get shot.
There's no running away. You have to click one.
You created the scenario,
Yeah.
Ben.
Ben, what would
There's
you do?
no
I found the
escape.
loophole.
Like-
I
What would
found
you
the
do? There's no
loophole.
loophole.
like-
in a scenario that only has two options.
I
Go.
bite the person.
What would you do?
I bite the person.
No, Ben, you have to kill an orphanage or your significant other.
I'll bite
What
the
would you do?
nose off of the person.
Ben, can you stop being the embodiment of chaos for like 10 seconds and answer this question in
Okay,
a logical way?
You don't even have to explain. Just say one or the other. See, the fact that you have to think about it justifies my reasoning even more, because you have to think about logically versus human
Emotionally.
emotion. So it's
Yeah.
logic against emotion.
It
So
is.
It's brain against heart, pretty much.
The only way, I'd say the only way to ethically justify saving your significant other and killing the orphanage would be if your significant other is really, someone who could cure cancer or something like that. That would be the only way to save. That would be
Yeah.
the only way to justify
But, like,
saving one
you're-
life over 100. If saving the one life can potentially save more than 100 lives
But
as time
here's
goes
the thing,
on.
how would you not know that she could do that or he could do that?
I know
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, I think that we're.
Okay, well, does she have a greater chance to do that than the 100 kids in the orphanage combined?
Okay, let's say that Sam, do you believe do you like animals and like
Yeah.
nature and stuff? Okay,
Yeah.
let's say that you're a significant other and that you know this.
Mhm.
For some reason you just know that in the next 10 years she's gonna save any endangered species. She's gonna bring back to like a healthy capacity. And no other species would ever go extinct, or like, yeah. So I just said that she would reshape the world in terms of saving animals and saving like the environment and all that.
Mm.
So I guess you adjust to Ram's.
Yeah. So, like, to adjust the thing, what you're basically saying is, would you kill your significant? Would you kill your significant other and like prevent the orphanage from dying, but like all the animals are not going to receive the cure they want, or you kill like 100 other people, but the animals are going to be saved through my significant other.
Yeah, and
You just made a ridiculously hard choice, ridiculously easy.
Yeah. I'd.
wait, why?
I would be curious to understand how, in this scenario you just gave, how anyone could justify not killing the orphanage.
So
I would honestly.
Actually, the only way someone could justify that is if they believe that humans are inherently more valuable than
which
others.
that's exactly.
I guess I see what you're getting at.
I
see
found
what
I found a new hot take for me. I actually value human lives much more than animal lives, just because of the pure fact of like consciousness.
Are you saying animals aren't conscious?
Not in the same way that humans are.
How do you define consciousness?
Well, I see this actually more from like a religious perspective, because I'm a or at least I try to be more of a like religious person, and way back in like Genesis, there was like this whole thing where like God created all the animals, God created all the plants, and then when he went to go make humans, he made humans in his own image. He breathed a breath of life, and he didn't do that for like any other animals. So like,
that's a fucked up mind. Because I'm fucked up mind.
Are you saying God is a narcissist, Ben?
I'm not a narcissist.
Are you saying that God asked for other people's shirt for him to wear?
Hey,
Yeah.
someone asked me earlier.
but
okay?
That one person doesn't justify a action of another.
So an orphanage or a significant other.
Go ahead. Oh yeah, actually, Ben, you're yet to answer that question. Thank you for bringing it back, Samuel. Just one second.
Yeah.
So what would you say, Ben? Thank you very much for
I would say.
thinking that you had me.
I would say the guy for not biting off his nose.
So you know what? I think Ben would save his significant other as well. So go ahead. Sam.
Actually,
Yeah. But to like the original premise, between the significant other and the orphanage, I probably save the orphanage, just because like of the needs and the many over needs of a few. Like even if she was able to like, save all the animals, because I don't know, it just feels. It's like that. Needs of the many over needs of the few, and
she would technically be saving millions, if not billions, of species or just sheer volumes of animals compared to 100 children.
Yeah,
Mm.
even then.
And wouldn't the billions, if not millions and billions of species saved could potentially better the life for the people, for a lot of people around the world, since she would be technically also.
That's a good point.
Because with the reservations, you get, and if you get more and more reservations, you can improve air quality because more trees, the more carbon dioxide is taken from the atmosphere. So technically, the air quality can be improved if like the Amazon is like replenished.
That is true.
And like even if you count like one small area, the amount of indigenous people in that area could be way more than 100 people, and like it could sustain food. Like even people that want to still eat meat, but like in a really much lower volume, they could still do that by surviving.
That is true. All right. Yeah. In that case, for like the purpose of, the benefit that I could bring for, for the benefits that I could bring. In that case, yeah, I'd have to. Can't believe I'm saying this. I'm gonna have to blow up the orphanage.
I feel evil and good at the same time because I just helped clarify and kind of change Samuel's mind, but in another way, I just made him say that he would blow up an orphanage not live, but in a fucking podcast.
Yeah.
So I guess I am indeed.
Hey, Gregory, Ben was the one who thought up the scenario.
Yeah, but
the original.
Ben,
you should be thanking Ben.
Yeah. Thank you, Ben. Yeah, I thank Ben a lot.
I was about to say I have a clip of you thanking Ben 3 times in one sentence, and then saying, I should stop thanking Ben.
and then I thank Ben like 3 seconds.
Yeah. So thanks for that, Ben.
Yeah, thanks for that, Ben. Yeah, that was really.
I'm sure you're very proud of yourself.
Ben. You brought up a conversation that led to 2 people saying that they would, or at least 3 people saying that they would blow up an orphanage. because remember when I said that she would like save all like the animals and all that, you said it would be hard to justify you saving the orphanage over her.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you technically speaking, you made
people
say
in a specific scenario, yeah. In a specific scenario, yeah.
3 fucking people say that they would blow up an orphanage. One way or another, and they would do it.
Congratulations.
4!
4! You made yourself say it too, right? I did. Wow, but you really shut in your own hand there.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So.
I mean, that was a hot take, yeah.
Yeah. So after this podcast, guys, I got some TNT in the back of my car. If you wanna,
No.
What is it called? Orphanage.
Let me look that up.
The fuck is wrong with
Hold
you?
out his phone.
The fuck is wrong with you, Brazilians?
Brazilians.
I'm pro-choice, and this is my choice.
Not your body. That's not your body, Gregory.
Oh, so when it is it my choice?
Yes, it is.
Oh, fucking got him, baby.
You didn't get me because a fetus has its own body.
Right, but
yeah.
But without the
Wait, Sam, are you pro-life?
I'm pro-life, yeah.
Cool.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, it usually comes with people who are Christian. They're usually pro-life, but
yeah, which is fair. But like, would you ban abortion? Like, because for me, like, I'm pro-choice, but like, I would only ban abortion after the 20 to 24 weeks because that is technically, scientifically, when the conscious experience begins for a fetus.
I would ban abortion in like all phases.
So even,
Same.
So
like 100%.
In all fetuses, so even if the woman would be about to die, or
even if it was in all phases, I said in very specific scenarios, I think it's ethically justifiable. For instance, if the mother had a high likelihood to die if she goes through with it.
No, if the baby survived, if you know that the baby would survive, but the mother wouldn't, would you still?
I would probably save the baby, honestly, because like most mothers that I've seen would give their lives for their babies. So and
right, but don't you think that's
no? In that specific scenario, I'd say give the choice to the mother. I think that seems the most reasonable thing to do.
Right.
Because on the one hand, you could say save the child because it has more life ahead of it potentially, but at the same time, the mother, depending on her age, may actually have a higher likelihood for more life ahead of her because I think, I mean, infant mortality is obviously not nearly as high as it was ages ago, but
Yeah, and
you're
take
still
up,
more likely to die between the ages of 0 and 5 than like between the ages of 5 and 35.
Which makes sense because between 0 and 5 is when your immune system is like at its weakest or something.
But at the same time, using that to save the mother against her own will.
Right. No, yeah. Like at that point, if the mother knows that she's probably going to die, but wants to have the child safely, if that's a possibility, and she chooses to do that, then yeah, that's
Yeah, so in that very specific scenario, I'm 100% pro-choice.
Right. Okay. No, that's fair. Now, I mean, we already gone through this already, but and then we did end up agreeing that like we settled for a middle ground where if we were running a country together, we wouldn't make abortions completely illegal. But what we would do is make it easier for women to like get surgeries like tying their tubes. Because like I've heard so many stories of like women that are like over the age of 35, which is when like the possibility of having kids like drops significantly.
Yeah.
They go to the doctors, and the doctors still tell them that they cannot get their tubes tied because they still have a chance of having kids. Me as a 21-year-old called the doctor, told them how old I was. They're like, "Oh, isn't that too young?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "Oh, okay. Here's the appointment," and I got a vasectomy. Just like this easy.
Yeah, in instances like that, I'm obviously 100% pro-choice because there's no other life that we're dealing with. It's just your own body.
No, you're right, but I'm saying like that we would agree that we would make it easier for women to.
Oh yeah, contraceptive methods, things like that.
Yeah.
Like, we would make like a countrywide sexual education, like at least like a base
If there's good evidence that decreases the number of unwanted pregnancies.
Don't you think it can even like just logically speaking it can do that anyway because
I mean, we could assume, but there are so many. It seems like a very complicated matter. I'd rather not assume it will have one effect or another without the evidence. So there may already be evidence out there that's saying what you're saying. I just don't know.
Right, but did you know that like I researched recently, I think it's either 11 or 16. 11 or 16 states have a recommended or a
Satanic church?
What are you talking
Abortion
Just-
satanic church.
Okay, so like it was like only 11 states or 16 states out of the 50 have guidelines or like mandatory sexual education. Just like and the only baseline for that is that the evidence that the people use have to be scientifically backed.
Mm-hmm.
On any other state, it's either
Do
not
those
needed.
specific states have lower rates of unwanted pregnancies, or have the rates dropped since they implemented these programs?
No, that is a good question, and I probably
That's what I'm saying. Like, we can assume all we want, but when it's such a complex matter, it's best not to
Yeah.
assume without the evidence.
Let me. I'm gonna actually look it up right now. But one of the main reasons why I am pro-choice is because of how hard it is for not only women to get their tubes tied and make it, pretty much just save a potential abortion. Like the thing I have against pro-life people, like most pro-life people, not necessarily you two, is that they're usually Republicans, right? Or Christians, or both, or whatever.
You have something against them because they're Republicans?
No, but let me
Would
finish my
you
sentence, right?
would you like to say that closer to the mic, please?
Absolutely. Thank you, Samuel. No, but like, so once again, Remy, if I could finish my sentence and then you can criticize it, I will thank Ben for not doing that once at this episode. But right, you should know better. So I was saying that most Republicans, would be pro-life, but the thing is, it's kind of I find many of them pretty stupid because they are okay. You're pro-life, whatever, that's fine. But then you make laws and you pass for a good chunk of it. You make things harder for women to get their tubes tied, or you make certain things for a woman to avoid even getting pregnant harder. Because like in Canada and many parts in Europe, you can get like birth control pills or whatever for free, just
Hmm.
well, either for free or you can just go to the pharmacy and get it like over the counter. Here you have to get a fucking doctor appointment, and then the doctor would have to let you have it if he thinks that you know, like if he doesn't want you to go get it because he thinks that you might change your mind or whatever,
Yeah.
he can literally stop you from getting it. So it's like you're bitching about a problem while not exactly trying to deal with the, like you're bitching about a problem, bitching about the symptom while not focusing on the cause for it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I did get more or less what you're saying, but I think it's like that's more so like a policy thing in terms of like because like Republicans, what usually they want is for government to be like less involved, like less government involvement, and that includes like not giving them as much funding in order to decrease taxes for like the rest of the people, and so in order to decrease so since they're decreasing those taxes, they have to make some cuts, cuts in their spending, and and stuff like that might like trying to like giving three free birth control pills. That stuff costs money, and
Oh yeah, absolutely.
yeah, so like that's like one of the many things that they would like have to cut because like it's all like a kind of thing where it's like um what must we need, like what's the thing that has like the greatest priority, and what are the things that are a bit less important that we need to cut
No,
out
yeah,
for budgetary reasons.
like I absolutely think that there, in terms of like logically speaking, there are things better to focus on than that.
Mhm.
But if you're gonna be so strongly like pro-life and not even like, to me it's kind of like, you know, how people say that um, oh, you know, women in the NBA should be getting paid, or like the WNBA should be getting paid as much as like the NBA, even though the WNBA, fun fact, is one of the only business in the world that loses money every year and still continues to go on.
Yeah.
Like people like complain how there's like, oh, you know, they get paid like almost nothing, but they lose $100 million every year because people just don't watch that stuff.
Yeah,
Even
people
that
don't
are like pro that, they don't
people
watch
don't
it.
watch the WNBA because the WNBA is, I feel like it's kind of a thing for like to try to make uh to like involve women in sports. That's good in theory, but in practice most women aren't really as invested in sports as men are.
Right, which shows by the sheer fact of like numbers and like revenue in general. Like
Yeah.
if you're losing money every year, and the only reason why they're still up while losing money is because the NBA covers that cost for them.
Yeah, it's basically like a sunk cost, like a thing that they're doing more to like more so to like promote, promote like diversity.
Yeah,
Which
which is fine, but don't go up and saying that they should be getting paid as much as men who get those views, who get the money. Like if women were getting more views than men, they should be getting paid more. But if men are the ones getting more views, and I think like whoever brings in it's a business.
yeah, it is a business.
But whoever brings the most money should get paid the most.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I get what you two are saying, but I think it's not necessarily so much that female athletes aren't as invested as male athletes. I think it's more of a cultural thing. People go to watch men's sports, not so much. You know, like women and men go to watch men's sports, not so much go to watch women's sports. So I
What sports?
That
think
that
that's
makes
more of a
sense.
cultural. I think it's more of a cultural thing. Why in this case, the NBA or NBA, the National Basketball Association,
Yeah,
gets more revenue than the Women's
Mhm.
National
Oh
Basketball
yeah,
Association.
I mean, like for like on the beginning is, and I think it's culture because that's what there used to be most out of, you know, mostly men's sports. Like women's sports, I'm pretty sure, like at least for the most part, came like a little bit after, you know. So I think that's one of the reasons why it's culturally cemented like that. But in a way, you're still agreeing that the men the men's sports get more views usually.
yeah,
Yeah, that's not a matter of opinion. That's just fact,
Yeah,
statistics.
yeah, exactly. So and that's why that's what I'm saying. Like whoever brings, I don't care what gender it is, whoever brings in the most money should get paid more. Like that's just how business works. Like
I don't know. I think professional athletes are overpaid in general. At least
Oh, I
the
mean,
very
absolutely.
the very top of the top are overpaid.
Yeah.
I will say that they're
But
definitely
yeah.
overpaid. But to be fair, once again, like they bring in that much money. That's why they're paid that much.
Yeah, it's kind of like the supply and demand thing. They're like way in demand. So, in order for them to deal with that demand, they have to like raise their prices in order for them to like get the best person.
Yeah, and like if one player is like if Messi is selling like a million shirts in like a month or something, and he's getting people to like watch his games, to like watch his highlights on YouTube. That's demand for him, and people want him to be like people see his face and they recognize him, and that's why people put him in ads for Nike because it helps sell. Like one way or another, it helps sell. And when you're like selling that much for a company and you don't get paid at least a decent cut of it, it's kind of like I definitely agree that they're overpaid, but they're overpaid for a reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At least
Now is it like from us from like an outside view, we like they don't make that money, all that money, simply because they're just really good at soccer. Like Messi, of course, he's a really good soccer player, but like in terms
At a
of
certain
like,
point, you're making the money because of name recognition.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you're making the
Brand.
money more out of name recognition rather than just your pure skills.
Yeah, like ads
And
and
yeah,
sales revenue. Yeah, it's literally a business.
Yeah.
And that's what I think many people don't get. But like back to my point about the pro-life and pro-choice thing.
what a tangent.
Welcome to the Off the Roast podcast, my friend. No, like for me, it's just like to me, it seems a bit like hypocritical to like it makes sense like when you cut taxes, you have less to support and there are bigger quote unquote priorities. But I definitely think if you're gonna be against abortions, that's fine, but at least make it easier for women not to even have the event where they would have to get one. Like, of course, like even with contraceptions, even with the birth control pill, it could still happen. But I'll put I'll put like all my money on it that if you make birth control methods as easy as it is in like Canada and in other countries in Europe, the need for a abortion would decrease immensely because with less pregnancies, there's obviously going to be less abortions. Can we all disagree on that?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's why like when I asked him like, would you like if me and you were governing a country and we had to like settle down on something, we agreed that it would be legal on like at a certain time, not because you like, not because you want it, but because you understand that humans would, to govern, if you will, a democratic society, you would have to kind of like.
Yeah, we agreed that if it's the people's will, that ultimately democracy is more important for the greater good of humanity in the long run.
And society as well.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why we were able to respect each other and come down to the resolution of like I asked you, like even if we were to make abortions illegal, if we were governing together completely, I would definitely not agree with. But you did say that you would make like things like any birth control methods and even sexual education, even if it doesn't really help that much, wouldn't you say that it's still something good for people to know? Like
I need to see the specific. I need to see the specific evidence on that topic.
Yeah, and I completely forgot to look that up.
Yeah. I mean, like I'd assume that like if people have like sex ed on like this kind of stuff, they would be more conscious about it. Though it's kind of weird for me to say specifically because me being a Christian and all, I actually don't I don't really approve of like sex before marriage anyways. So that's like a whole other can of worms kind of thing. But
yeah, which I mean, like at that point, it's more in terms of like values, and I have like nothing against or nothing for it. It's just like pure personal views, and to me, it's like you can believe in whatever you want, just don't enforce it on people that don't believe in it.
Yeah.
Like if someone is Christian or atheist or whatever, it's fine. But if they're trying to make me one, even though I don't want to, then I don't care what religion or whatever you are.
Yeah, because like that. Because like that's the thing about like because like we obviously do want to like we as Christians obviously do want to spread the good word of God, But it gets to a point where like if you keep pushing it too much, it just becomes counterproductive. Like they might actually grow resentment towards Christianity.
Right.
We
Oh
obviously
yeah,
know-
absolutely, and that
know-
goes for more than just religion. Any kind of ethical philosophy.
Or just anything like it.
It's better to just set an example and be subtle and explain things when they're asked of you, rather than try and force things on others. Same thing with my veganism. There are a lot of vegans who try and force their ethical beliefs on others, and it ends up being counterproductive. So like I said, I think it's the most effective way, if the end goal is to get others to be more on the
Aware.
side of our viewpoint, I guess,
Right.
is to just set a good example, be subtle, and answer questions when asked.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And so I found something from the acog.org. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's a credible source.
Oh,
It's
that sounds.
I don't know what it is,
No,
but
no,
it's
like-
credible.
like I mean, like the
Trust me.
Oh, sorry. It's the Comprehensive Sexual Education. That's the ACOG. I think I'm pretty sure. Studies have demonstrated that comprehensive sexuality education programs reduce the rates of sexual activity, sexual risk behaviors, number of partners, and unprotected intercourse, sexually transmitted infections, and adolescent pregnancy. Because it makes sense. Because like.
Yeah, so I guess if that's accurate, which I have no reason to doubt at this moment, then I agree with what you were saying earlier.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like sex ed, make like if a woman wants, like if they're 21 and they want to get their tubes tied or vasectomy, let them do it. And yeah, I think that's pretty much what I would do. But like as of right now, with the way things are, how hard it is for women to get their tubes tied, and how hard it is for them to even get like birth control. And I think just the amount. I think I read this somewhere when I was doing some school research with like Google Scholar or whatever I was using. That there's more funds towards men, like contraceptives for men over women. Like if the budget is
higher for men.
It's high for men, or like at least it's more focused. It's something like that. I think it was like 71.
Isn't it because it's generally like easier to make contraceptives for men?
Yeah, that probably plays a pretty big role. It is probably easier for men to get contraceptions, but like in terms of like, because I've had a lot of female friends in my life, and many of them say how much of a bitch it is to like use birth control, like how much it fucks you up, like your body up.
Yeah, because like that's the thing. Like for women, it's like it has like a really a huge load of like
nasty
side
effects.
effects.
We have what? We have condom. We have.
Isn't there like a pill as well?
Dude, I was literally thinking about it. I think there is
Viagra?
one, or they're made.
Wait, what did he say?
He said fucking Viagra as a birth control method. But I like how you were quiet for 30 minutes, and then the first thing that you contribute with is Viagra as a form of birth control.
Can I throw this bottle at him?
Yes. I'm gonna type it up on my Google Chrome thing so I can remember to put this on the title. Viagra as birth control. Ben, I'm telling you, Ben has the stupidest takes. Like if we ask him for a hot take on the spot, he's like hot water burned. But then if we're talking normally, he puts his fucking like Albert Einstein fucking cap on. He's like, Viagra is a good way to prevent pregnancies. And what would you rather blow up an orphanage or kill your significant other? Like Ben, how does your brain cells only work when other people are talking? Ben would be like the Donald Trump of like a debate in 2016, but every time he interrupts, he makes like the best points he ever could.
No,
Ben,
wait.
So,
He would be the Dilma Rousseff, the
oh
president.
my God.
For
Brazilian politics, you want to get into that?
yeah,
Oh,
for those of you who don't know, Dilma Rousseff was the president of Brazil in like 2012, I think, and
Sure.
she was notorious for having a lot of interesting speeches.
including having a haircut that costs like $300 or something like that.
Wait, really?
Oh, you didn't know that?
I
Only
didn't know that.
300?
We gotta get
Only
into that.
300,
Oh, man.
Gregory?
We gotta get into that the next.
I would be
episode.
surprised if it weren't
Samuel
3,000.
has to go. I mean, it probably is. If she has a good amount of stealing money from the people.
Yeah.